Well, my name's Caleb. I am the youth pastor here at Living Hope. I've been able to hang out with your kids for the last since November, so it's been pretty awesome just being able to see them all preparing for fine arts and just everything that comes along with that, such as just practicing songs in front of each other and just working on short sermons and artwork and everything that is just a part of this awesome kind of experience for them. Especially just the preparation phase, having to do it with so many of the helpers in class, with their parents and everything like that. It's just a lot of people putting in a lot of effort into kind of getting these kids ready for this fine arts event coming up in this, not this weekend, but next weekend, which will be awesome for all of them. So I'm super excited to be able to go up there with them. They have a whole conference and everything that goes along with it as well, like 3 different speakers, and just being able to meet with there's average of 800 kids there every year, which is pretty awesome. So the Lord does a lot of really cool work up there. But anyways, I want to go ahead and just start us off with a prayer, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit more of just what fine arts is, and then I'll get the kids up here to start performing for you guys. So here we go. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Just thank you for allowing us to gather together and just be able to watch these kids just develop these gifts that you've given them, just to be able to perform for you, God. To bring glory to you, and just to advance your kingdom here on earth, God, through these natural abilities that you've given them. Dear Lord, just allow these things to be something that they can see as a way to serve you in the church, and not just something that builds up their own pride, God, but allow this to be something that they can just give back to you wholly with their lives, God. So just allow them to be able to be confident as they go in tonight as well, though, and being able to just present their gifts to the crowd tonight, and especially here at Living Hope. This is the people that they get to see week in and week out, God. This is an awesome opportunity just to build up the church as a body, God. So just allow that to be the goal for tonight and the fruit that comes out of this as well, God. And in your name, amen. Cool. So I will just touch on a few little extra things about what fine arts is, because I know most of you probably have been around this for a while and have heard this spiel a few times. But for those of you that haven't, and for those of you, I guess this is being live streamed. So for whoever is watching online, for those people as well. So just fine arts is this event that happens once a year. They have a regional, which is what we're going to this upcoming weekend. Where it's like the Rocky Mountain region, so there'll be people from Utah and here in Colorado kind of coming together and performing and competing with these different talents, whether that is a vocal solo, artwork, short sermon, poetry, dramatic quoting, I think is also one of them. There's a whole list of things that are out there. But what the whole purpose of it is to kind of figure out what giftings each kid has, and then be able to develop those and then deploy. It's kind of so it's discover, develop, deploy is kind of their 3 words that they use to kind of, it's their purpose of fine arts. And it's so that these kids can learn about what gifts the Lord has given them and then go and share the gospel through that gift and develop that throughout their young childhood and then also just into life as they go forward. So that's kind of the whole purpose of fine arts. It's not just a talent show. It is awesome being able to see all these different giftings and different things that these kids can do. But it's for one purpose, and that purpose is to advance the gospel and share the glory of God here on earth, which is awesome, and just showing that through their talents and abilities. So that's kind of the whole purpose of this, and then they also have a bunch of experiences with the other kids up there, and then also being able to listen to a bunch of different speakers that come in and encourage and give a message of just the gospel to share with one another as well. But anyways, that's kind of the little spiel of what these kids are going up to this weekend. And then if they do well at this regionals, then they go on to nationals, which I don't even know where it is this year. But last year, I believe it was in Florida. So they kind of bounce around to different places every year. But that's kind of the goal of this is if they do well, then they get to go on to that. And that's something that we'd love to be able to bring them to. If that so happens. But anyways, we will go ahead and get on with the night, and we're going to have Deegan come up here and kind of introduce himself and start off the night with a guitar solo, which will be awesome.
Hi, my name is Deegan Flores. I'm part of the Thrive Youth Group. I'm playing a solo guitar arrangement of I'll Fly Away by Albert Humberly. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Great work, Deegan. Perfect. All right, and now I'm actually going to go ahead and have JoJo. Where's she at? You want to go grab your artwork real quick? Sorry, I just sprung that upon you. We have a bunch of other artists as well that they don't get to come up here on stage and perform in front of all of you guys. So I wanted to go ahead and give them the opportunity to come up front, kind of show their artwork and explain a little bit of the inspiration behind it and just kind of their reasoning for doing that. And that's something that I think is really cool because otherwise you guys you see them out there, but you don't actually get to hear them talk about it. So I just wanted to give you guys the opportunity to hear from them as well. There's a few other people that have artwork that they're going to be doing as well. They just got to find some free time to do it prior, but there's going to be a lot of really free time, but they're going to be doing some really cool artwork that'll be up there. So, all right, here you go, JoJo.
Hello. This is my art piece. It has lily pads and then pebbles, and then my koi fish. I just started drawing this. I didn't know really what I wanted to draw, but I love drawing fish. So I just started out with the fish, and this is what I ended up with. I use different texture pencils, so the darker is softer pencil, so it comes out better and darker. And then the lighter is harder pencils, so they come out lighter. Yeah, I really enjoyed drawing this. I drew it really late at night. And I thought it was going to be a rough draft, but it turned out that it's my final, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. All right, and now we will have Connor come up and give his short sermon for us all. Awesome.
My name is Connor Steiger, and I'm entering in the short sermon category. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope in a future." God not only has a plan for us, but he knows the plan for us. When you were in the womb, God specially crafted and created you. In fact, Isaiah chapter 64, verse 8 says, "We are the clay, you are the potter. We are the work of your hand. We are specially crafted." John chapter 9 is about a blind man. A blind man at the time was looked upon as useless, worthless, and pitiful, a social outcast. But Jesus in this chapter says, "But this happens so that the work of God might be displayed in him." If God can use someone outcasted by society who can't even see, he can use every single one of us. The man later in the story was healed by Jesus and afterwards was described as unrecognizable. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7 says, "When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people." God did not make us special, or he did make us special, but he also gave us gifts. These are simply tools God gave us to work for him and his will, his plan. So whether we feel outcasted, behind, unwanted, or even useless, God can use every single one of us. Another man in the Bible was named Paul. Paul in the Bible was very mean for a long time. He hated Christians and even despised God for most of his life. He would do mean things such as come up with ways and try to get Christians in trouble and even get thrown in jail. Paul was just flat out not okay with God at the time. But as many of us know, Paul didn't stay that way his whole life. God changed Paul for good. God helped Paul turn away from sin. God radically showed up in a big way in Paul's life. But most of all, God used Paul. No matter where we run, no matter where we may be, no matter what dark spot we may be in, God can use us. Back to the blind man. To the words I just used to describe him were useless, worthless, and pitiful. Who has felt like this at times? I know I have. But God has more for us. Now back to Paul. How many of us have felt like Paul? Feel like we constantly betray God? I know I felt like that too. But God has more for that too. The truth is, no matter how we felt, no matter what we feel we've done, God has bigger plans for us all, and he can use every single one of us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Connor. All right. So we actually still have some people kind of coming in. So we'll actually go ahead and switch it up just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and have Jessie come up front and explain her artwork for us as well. And then Bree, you're actually going to go next as well. So, yep, speeding you up a little bit. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Jessie Vines, and I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, we were in Walmart, and we walked out, and I saw this beautiful sunrise, and it reminded me of how amazing God is to create such beautiful art. So I wanted to take the picture and use it for fine arts. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Awesome. Thanks, Jessie. Perfect. All right, and now we will have Bree. Wait, where'd she just go to? She just ran away. Oh, there she is. I'm blind up here. Ooh.
Hello, my name is Brianna Gill, and I'm from Living Hope Church, and my short sermon is titled God's Sovereignty. 2022 will mark my 10 years at this church. Growing up in this church, I have always heard about God's sovereignty, but I've never really understood what it was or even wanted to until recently. When I started learning what God's sovereignty is, I found that it is an incredibly complex idea. Sovereignty, in a human context, means extreme or supreme authority or power over something. When talking about God's sovereignty, though, a simple definition is very hard to define and formulate. We need to understand all the many aspects of his sovereignty. Today, I'll only be speaking on 3. The first of which I'll be talking about is God's sovereignty over creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. Colossians 1:16. God created everything and all things with a purpose, from the 7 continents to each grain of sand that decorates their shores. God created everything on earth to work together for a purpose. He had the authority over everything on earth to dictate their purpose and their exact creation. Now to talk about God's power, his power to do the impossible. As humans, there are so many things that we think are impossible. They are impossible to us, though. The only way we can do the impossible is with God. And looking at them, Jesus said to them, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." Matthew 19:26. Think about all the things you have deemed impossible. Maybe it's the math test you have to take next week. Maybe it's getting into university, or maybe there's a relationship that you deemed impossible to fix. Through God, you can conquer all those things that you have deemed impossible, but it's only through God and with God. The will of God is another extremely complex thing that as Christians we need to understand. As for it is extremely important to us. The will of God is very hard to define, though. Some define the will of God as advancement of his kingdom or for his glory. Whatever way you may define the will of God in a situation, we are still to act it out fully and follow his will. James 4:14-15 reads, "Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanish. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, he will live and do this or that." As our world progresses and evolves, it is terrifying and scary. It is becoming extremely hard to be a Christian and act as a Christian and act out God's will. Acts 5, the end of verse 38-39 reads, "Let them go, for if their purpose or activity is of human origin, it will fail. But if it is from God, you will not be able to stop these men. You will only find yourself fighting against God." I have talked about God and his power over creation. God knows no impossible task, for he can do everything. He has the authority to dictate and give his own children a will for us to do. I have not touched on all of God's sovereignty. Even as I explore God's sovereignty, I haven't even touched on it, and I've been exploring it for weeks. Even God's sovereignty is just scratching the surface of who God is. But every time I look at God and I explore more of him, I just get more amazed. Our world is changing, and it's scary me. I go to bed and wonder, what will the world look like when I wake up tomorrow? But I don't go to bed and I don't worry about the world. I know that my God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and sovereign. I do not know his plan or his will exactly. I certainly cannot understand why or everything's purpose in this world or all of his creations. I do not know how God makes the seemingly impossible to me possible. But what I do know is that God does make the possible, does make everything possible. I hope that all the generations here that are represented and all the generations around the world are made aware of God's sovereignty and are reminded of who God is. The world is terrifying and horrible, but I am not afraid of it because my God is sovereign. Thank you.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So now we have another artwork that will be coming up. Kian will be coming up here in a second. I had them all display their artwork outside, and now I'm making them run out and get it and then come back inside. So bad planning on my part, but gets their steps in, so it's good. Wear them out a little bit. Awesome. So yeah, I think we have another 3 art pieces of artwork that are going up that aren't here tonight, but it's pretty awesome. They got some really, really talented artists, which is great. All right, here you go, my good sir.
Thank you. All right, hi, I'm Kyan, and I did digital photography mobile, so I shot this on my phone in my backyard, and I took 2 little paper clips and I bent them and I sat them on a well. I don't know, I just thought it was a cool little photo to take, 2 little paper clips sitting next to each other. Yeah, and I just really liked the color of the background with that yellow. I thought it made it stand out a little bit more. I just thought it was a cool photo. Thank you.
Thanks, Cayenne. I appreciate it. Cool. And now we have Samantha come up and do a woodwind solo, which is pretty awesome. I don't have enough air to do that. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm from Living Hope, and I'll be playing Holy, Holy, Holy.
Good job, Sam. Did awesome. Perfect. All right. Perfect. And now we will have Gabriella come up front. There she is, Gabby. There it is. Perfect. And she will be doing a violin solo for us. She's going to play 2 different songs that she has because she hasn't decided which one she's going to play yet. So you guys can tell her, give her a little feedback at the end and be like, that one was awesome, the other one was awesome too, and just make it even harder for her to decide on which one to play. So, awesome. There we go.
I'm Gabriella. For the first song, I'll be playing Fantasy on a Japanese folk song, and in particular, I chose this song because it kind of, like the rhythm and tune reminds me of the fight between David and Goliath. Also, I haven't played it and performed in years, so don't judge. Okay, and the second one is This Is Me, composed by Ben Paske. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but this kind of is like saying, this is me, who I am through God, and how I'm living my daily life with Him.
Awesome. And now we will have Miss Talia come forward and do a vocal solo for us. And then we have another artwork, and we'll finish up with a band. So awesome, guys.
Hi, I'm Talia Sanchez, and I'm going to be performing Yes He Can by Kane. Sometimes I wonder, is he faithful? Does he see me in my struggle? Does he understand? Sometimes I question is He's able. Can He rescue? Can He save me again and again? But when I look back, did He move every mountain? Did He part every sea? Yes, He did. So yes, He can. Did He defeat the darkness? Did He deliver me? Yes, He did. So yes, He can. Yes, He did. So yes, He can. Sometimes these voices try to tell me I'm forgotten and I'm falling too far from His hands. But I know what kind of God He is, and I'm trusting in His promises. I'm believing and I'm singing, yes, He can. Did He defeat the darkness? Did He deliver me? Yes, He did. So yes, He can. Did He move every mountain? Did He part every sea? Yes, He did. So yes, He can. Yes, He did. So yes, He can. No, I've seen too much, now I can't deny. He's come through every single time. From the beginning until the end. He did, He will, He did. Yes, He did. Yes, He can.
Awesome. All right, perfect. So now we're actually going to do one last little piece of artwork. Sarah, if you would
So let's see, Bree, you've been playing about a year? No, 2, 5, 1. What? Okay, has it really been that long? Yeah, so Bree's been playing like 15 years. No, okay, 3 years. Some of you see her play on Sunday mornings. Bree's picked up the bass. She is a senior at Benning Lewis. And I believe you're going to graduate with close to an associate's degree, correct? So isn't that awesome, guys? High school. So behind me is Connor Steiger on the acoustic guitar. I'm pretty sure Connor started playing last night, right? Yeah. No, you're going on a couple years playing the acoustic. Connor's a junior. He'll be playing again next year. So, and to my left, to everybody's left, we got Deegan. You guys already met him tonight. Mr. Deegan Flores, a couple of really cool things about Deegan. He recently auditioned for and got accepted to CSU Pueblo, their music program. And I hope I got the number right, Deegan, but not only that, you got a $20,000 scholarship? Yeah, $20,000. Isn't that cool? So I want to kind of describe what we're going to be doing with the song tonight. It's going to feature the vocalists, but we're all going to feature Deegan with a solo. Now, what he did earlier was all scripted. He already had it memorized. He knew what he was going to do. Tonight, who here is familiar with improvisation? Yeah, you guys know what that means? You make it up as you go. Not every musician can do that. It is not an easy thing. It takes some serious talent to do that. So we're going to show off Deegan as well tonight. So be on the alert for that. Now the vocalists, you all have met Talia already. Talia's been singing several years now, right? And you went to nationals last year? So yeah, she advanced beyond. Usually we have some kids advance to nationals, but Talia made it to nationals and actually went last year and competed. Next to her, we have Daniela Steiger. Danny? All right, stand up, Danny. Oh, okay, never mind. Danny as well has been singing several years. She's in the 9th grade. And then next to her, we have JoJo as well, JoJo Vines. Let's see, what grade are you in? 9th. Awesome. Talia, I forgot your grade. 9th grade. Awesome. So we still got a couple good years left going here. So, and we are also missing a member tonight, Junior Vines. He decided to ditch you all and go to Universal Studios in Florida. So the part of Junior Vines will be played by the ever handsome, ever youthful, ever humble John Steiger. Hi, Mom.
Hi, we're Thrive Youth Band, and we're going to be performing Devil by Ann Wilson. Devil thought he'd won the final round. Devil thought he could keep you 6 feet down. You could hear Hal singing that victory song. But a funny thing happened, the devil thought wrong. The devil thought wrong, thought wrong.
Devil got him on the final round. Devil got scared when he found out. You can't rise and ride out of that grave. My sin went running and my soul got saved. Son of God's always been a bit of a rebel. You brought life to me, death to the devil. Holy Ghost has got a hold on me. I was blind, but now I can see. Kingdom gone, got me on another level. You brought life to me, death to the devil. You brought life to me, death to the devil. You brought life to me, death to the devil.
Hello. All right, perfect. Awesome. Great work, guys. That's awesome. All right, cool. So I'm just going to wrap up with a few little things. Thank you all for, first off, thank you all for coming out and supporting the youth and the band and the artwork and the solos and just everything that they had to present tonight. It takes a lot of courage for them to kind of get up on the stage and present in front of you guys. Even though they might know you already, it's still kind of nerve-wracking at times whenever you're like, man, I'm being judged by everybody. So great work to all of you guys performing tonight. It was awesome. And you all did a wonderful job. Also, a few other things is in the back, there's like desserts and stuff, and like the artwork will also be displayed back there. So you can go back. There's also a spot for donations, whether that's cash or if you want to do on the little kiosk back there as well to kind of just help them pay for fine arts and summer camp coming up. And if they do make it to nationals, kind of helping fundraise for that as well. That would all be awesome. And then two other things as far as church related. This Tuesday night is the last night that you can sign up for the dance, learn how to dance and dinner night for this next Tuesday evening. So we're kind of disrupting Tuesday nights for 2 weeks in a row, but next week will be awesome. There'll be dancing and dinner, which is just a win. So yeah, go ahead and sign up for that tonight. I think there's stuff on the tables for that. And if you don't, Zach is your man to talk to over here. He has kind of all the information and headed that whole thing, which is really cool. And then also we have Beckett Cook again. Just wanted to kind of bring that up into everyone's minds. We have him speaking on the 10th, so I highly suggest that you kind of invite people to come and watch that, just that message. It's going to be really powerful. He has an awesome testimony, and I think we're super privileged to be able to have him come through and be able to talk with us. So I think that's a great time to invite friends that just don't normally come to church to hear the gospel, and then also just the implications of that on especially a life of his kind of like living, right, of just coming out of such a sin and just living now for the Christ each and every day. It's pretty cool. So just want to encourage you guys in that as well. And then if we could just give one more big round of applause to all the youth that presented tonight and everything. That's awesome. Perfect. Cool, guys. All right, and then to the back for some desserts and about their stuff. So awesome.